What's going on, Laker fans, and welcome to Lakerland. You know we're excited today. The trade deadline has now officially passed, and Russell Westbrook is no longer a part of the Los Angeles Lakers. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. I am so excited just off of that alone, but it has been a very, very exciting 24 hours, maybe even 24 plus hours at this point. But man, we have a lot to talk about. This roster is completely different. New look Lakers, including 5 players. Let me make sure my math is correct. And we're going to talk about all of the new players, all the new acquisitions, as well as what we lost. So let's kick it off with the big one, the big fish that dropped first, which was Russell Westbrook being traded to the Utah Jazz. I hope you don't get bought out. That's me hating. Okay. Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz, and then Lakers obviously receiving D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley, as well as Mike Conley going to the Timberwolves. Doesn't really affect us. Lakers gave up Russell Westbrook and a first-round pick, 2027, that is protected 1 through 4, mind you. And if somehow Lakers are a lottery team, that pick ends up just being a second-rounder. Maybe 2 second-rounders, but I believe it's just a second-rounder. So no skin off of our back, but I hope we're not in that predicament to begin with. But guys, D'Angelo Russell added to the squad, Jared Vanderbilt added to the squad, and Malik Beasley added to the squad, all off of the strength of Russ and a pick, which Rob Pelinka, you did something here. You did something here. I got to give you your credit where it's due. I got to give you your flowers when they're still, a little bit fresh from the garden, because I'm not mad at this one. I'll be the first to say this is about, what is it now? February. Yeah, this is about 8 months too late. Honestly, it's about a year too late. I was upset last year because we did absolutely nothing. So yes, this is long past due. This has been overdue. And I still question if we should have pulled the trigger on the Hield and Turner move in the very beginning of the season. That would have costed us 2 picks. This year was 1 pick. So things to look at. But it is what it is. At this point, we're here. So flipping Russell Westbrook and a first-round pick for D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt, who is actual young, athletic, and let me tell you, he is above 6'4". He's a 6'9" wing. Don't know his wingspan off the top of my head, but he's a guy who can play the 4, maybe even a little bit of the 5. Similarly to like a Wenyen Gabriel, but this guy is also very, very good on the defensive end. He is young. He is on the books. I believe he's still on his rookie deal. I mean, that piece right there is the big win for me. Jared Vanderbilt, I'm excited to see how he plays, and I'm glad of some other moves that we did, because I was going to be worried about how maybe he would have been incorporated into the rotation. So let's talk about some of those other moves, and then we will talk about everything, a big overview. My mind is scrambling at a crazy rate. What a trade deadline this was, by the way. Kyrie, we didn't discuss that, but and I'm not going to. I'm sure many people have said their opinion about Kyrie Irving. Who the hell am I? But Kyrie Irving traded to the Mavs. A little bit bummed we couldn't get him in the moment, but it is what it is. Like I said, Kyrie to the Mavs, KD to the Suns, and then I feel like this was the other third big move. There was a bunch of other moves. I believe it was like 22 trades total or 16 total for the deadline. Crazy things happening within NBA, and just really proving why NBA, in my opinion, I know Super Bowl is this week. Say whatever you want. I'm not a big football guy. This is the best league in the world, because man, the excitement today, I'm glad I could not be a part of the ESPN ratings right now, because I've been just on ESPN all day while watching Undisputed, while watching my Laker news, while watching Shams and Woj tweeting, and what a day. But let's talk about some of these other options that Lakers got. We also did trade Thomas Bryant away. It is reported that he did request a trade. Just the fit that really... Let's be real, man. Darvin said he was interested. LeBron said he was interested. AD, I believe, said he was interested in playing alongside of Thomas Bryant, and we really never got to see that. I still wish we would have got to see a chance, but we did pretty much utilize Thomas Bryant for what it was worth, and he definitely outperformed his contract, and we were able to trade him for actual assets, which was 3 second-rounders and Devon Reed, who not really familiar with. I don't think that's a big move, and I could definitely see him being possibly somebody that gets cut along the way, especially as the buyout market approaches. But it is sad to see TB go. But when one center leaves, another center comes, because I can't believe it. We traded Patrick Beverley. You know what? Pat was actually pretty good for at least like the last, pretty good for Patrick Beverley standards. The thing about Pat Bev, man, is I never wanted I was excited when we traded for him, but I never thought, yes, we traded for Pat Bev so we could play him 35 minutes a game. I thought he was going to be a 22-minute player, a 23-minute player, 25 minutes at most. Maybe on a crazy good day where we need him to lock up the other team's best player, give the man 30 minutes. But no, this man was getting way too much minutes. He was guarding people that were way too tall for him. Ingram, for example. Josh Giddey, for another example. If another team had a good wing, unfortunately, Patrick Beverley was put on the roster to stop the wing. It was definitely a misallocation of talent, misallocation of a role, and I was probably intrigued on seeing the Patrick Beverley team, the Patrick Beverley we could have gotten on this new look team. But ultimately, we had a logjam at the guard, so we traded Patrick Beverley for Mo Bamba. This was the big question mark. This was the big, all these moves came out of left field. But this was the big move that I was like, okay, there got to be more to it. And I was just holding on for the very last few minutes of the deadline, and nothing else came. Now, sometimes the world gets weird, and maybe it's dropping right now. Maybe another team got incorporated, but as of right now, the trade deadline is over. There's nothing you can do. So that leaves the Lakers losing Patrick Beverley, Russell Westbrook, and one pick, and Thomas Bryant. And we gained, also, we did lose Juan Toscano Anderson, Damian Jones, but they didn't play, so it doesn't really matter. And we gained D'Lo. We gained Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Devon Reed, who don't anticipate much, and Mo Bamba, which is definitely interesting. He's a big man that can stretch the floor. In theory, play defense because he's very, very tall and has the ability to block shots. Is he an actual good defender? I haven't seen enough of him to know. But man, this leaves the Lakers with a whole new look, and I want to talk about what that look may look like. One, I am glad that we cleared up Patrick Beverley due to the fact that I was already fearing the Patrick Beverley, Dennis Schroeder, and D'Lo lineup that we were gonna get. Cool off that. I'm cool off that, Darvin. No more 3-guard lineups. I hope. Either way, even if we do, they're much bigger guards now because Pat Bev was 6'1". But man, guys, Darvin Ham, you have some real pieces. A part of your rotation. Please do not screw up these rotations now. Please do not make boneheaded decisions when it comes to actually utilizing these guys. Jared Vanderbilt, I like that. Malik Beasley, a 3-point shooter, a top 15 3-point shooter. D'Angelo Russell, one of the best 3-point shooters this year. Now, they come to the Lakers usually, and they leave their shot at the airport. They leave their shot with the other team. They leave their shot in the gym, and usually it doesn't really pan out for their shooting percentages. But I'm always hoping, it's different. I'm always hoping that this one might be different, and maybe it is. D'Angelo Russell is very intriguing. He's going to be an intriguing fit. And, I got a question off rip. Does he replace Dennis as the starter? Are we now putting D'Lo and Dennis, and that's how Bev gets replaced? I would love to see maybe a position where Reeves can slot into the starting lineup. We keep Walker. Interesting. I honestly didn't think Lonnie was going to stay on this team because I don't know if we can pay him. But at this point, if we don't use him, his value isn't going to be that high. So maybe we can pay him for next year. But yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting fit. We still have a lot of guards with, Dennis, Lonnie, Reeves, D'Lo, Malik. I won't really consider Christie a guard at this point. More of a 2-3. Same thing with Troy Brown. I might be missing somebody off the top of my head. Man, my thoughts are rumbling, as you can imagine. Guys, what do you think, first of all? As I just discussed some more things, what do you think of the trade? What do you think of our new look lineups, our new look roster? It's going to be very, very intriguing moving forward. But, the D'Lo addition is going to be interesting. At first, I didn't really when I just heard D'Lo's name solely, because that's how the news kind of dropped. I was very shook of that, and I was like, oh, just Russell for Russell. I don't, addition by subtraction alone, but I definitely questioned it. But the addition of, Beasley and Vanderbilt for only one pick, that's a big come up. Excited to see what the spacing now looks like, because we actually got some people that can shoot. I don't know how good Beasley's defense is. I know D'Angelo Russell's not the best defender, so it does get interesting because we went from, having, Beverly, who in theory should be a good defender for guards, and we lost that, and we got did we get worse defensively after this trade? Possibly, but ultimately we got bigger, so I think people can slap back down to where they actually should have been for a very, very long time now. And that's going to be, Austin Reeves. He can actually play the 2 and maybe even play some 1. Have Austin Reeves get some more ball handling responsibility, please. And then this, like I said, Beasley's going to hopefully stretch the floor. He's going to get some good looks when LeBron and AD are in the game just naturally. And then Vanderbilt, who now we got Vanderbilt, and we also freed up minutes for Wenyen Gabriel, which is going to be awesome. Not to mention, I know that it wasn't necessarily part of the trade deadline, but we still just got Rui Hachimura. So a lot of additions, a lot of new faces. It's going to take time to build the chemistry, and we don't have much time to work throughout any kinks, which is the sad part of it all, is we're on a time crunch. We need to almost go perfect. We probably could only afford to lose maybe 8 more games for the rest of the year, maybe 10 at max. So we don't really have many losses to learn from. And I hope we did all of our learning for the beginning of the season, because a bunch of boneheaded decisions, a bunch of just awful play, lack of effort, particularly in the fourth quarter when it really came down to, game time. And this is our refresh. This is our do-over. It is here, and also it set up the future pretty nicely. I mean, D'Lo's an expiring contract. Malik Beasley is an expiring contract, to my knowledge. Vanderbilt stays on the books. Rui Hachimura most likely will, he's able to be re-signed with us, and for a decent rate too. We actually are in a position to not only have contracts on our books so we can re-sign and build a roster that's much more deep, but also we have contracts on our books that we can trade, because we kept on to our 2029 pick. We still got that draft pick. Once, the pick is made for this year, we're able to trade that. So technically that's 2 tradable picks. I don't know how it is like freeing up that 2030 pick and when's the immediate time to trade that one. We got a bunch of second rounders. Like we still kept assets in the tuck, which is great, because if things don't work out, which, that tends to happen sometimes for the Lakers, we have motions where we can pivot off of that. And I'm not gonna talk about that, because I want to talk about the excitement of what these players are gonna bring into the roster, and really that is youth, that is spacing, that is 3-point shooting. For Jared Vanderbilt, that's defense, that's another big body, a wing, nevertheless. And then Mo Bamba, which is the real interesting one. So I honestly, I don't like this part of the trade as much. Like, I thought Rob was doing pretty damn good. I thought the TB move was going to lead up to maybe, Lakers packaging up 5 second rounders, similar to how the Bucks did, and maybe we were going to get somebody like that. But instead, we trade Bev, and it looks like to me, it feels like we traded Bev just because we had too many guards. And, with Bryant wanting out, we get a young center in Mo Bamba that I don't think he's guaranteed money next year. So if it doesn't work out, if it's not somebody we want to keep, we're not forced to. And Patrick Beverley was an expiring contract anyways. But Mo Bamba's interesting. He's interesting. I'm cool on taking the gamble with it. Especially because once I saw Thomas Bryant was gone, I was like, we need a center, because AD, you guys know, AD can definitely miss some games, and I didn't want to be in a position where AD gets hurt, and now we have Vanderbilt struggling to play center, Wenyen, starting at center, Braun having to play center. That's just, especially with DJ gone as well, that would put us in a really awkward position. And I know we'll probably find, some people through the buyout market and free agents and what have you, but Mo Bamba, he can shoot, he can space the floor. I wonder if we ever see what he looks like alongside AD, because then I'm not going to say a twin tower, but that's a lot of shot blocking. It's a lot of shot blocking. That could get interesting as a look. Darvin probably never makes that happen if I'm to guess. Just random guess. He doesn't really like it, apparently. But I just feel like Beverly's contract was a little hefty, and we could have possibly used that contract to get somebody else. But ultimately, I think Rob probably didn't make his due diligence and calls. From what it looks like, he was making his rounds through when he was hunting. And Raptors ended up not being a seller. They didn't get rid of Gary Trent. They didn't get rid of OG. Not even Fred VanVleet. Some other wings didn't really move as I expected them to. A lot of guards moving. If anything, Josh Hart was one of the credible moves that happened, and that took a first-round pick. Now, if that could have been done for 5 seconds, in theory, maybe that would have been something I like, just to get a real 3 on this team, a nice catch-and-shoot 3-and-D wing, but it might have been slim pickings. Like, I would have liked to make some calls to the Nets. Royce O'Neal, could we have gotten him for 5 second-rounders? I know that they just got Dorian Finney-Smith. What would have it taken to get him without, maybe utilizing that first, or even utilizing the first and really upgrading at that position, tagging along Patrick Beverley's contract and another player, whether it was Walker or maybe under the right circumstance, a Christie, if you're really getting that high quality of a wing. But we didn't go in that direction. We got Bamba, and it is what it is. I'm holding out thought on that one, and I'm interested to see where that kind of lands us. But Beverley did turn his play around, and I'm sure he's going to get bought out, and I don't know where he goes. And Westbrook is going to get bought out. It's ironic that the players we trade just so happen to be worthless to some other teams. But it's going to be very interesting, man. It's going to be very interesting, and Lakers have now a little less excuses to play the way we've been playing. And Bron and AD got a real tough supporting cast around them. Now, with that being said, the West got a hell of a lot tougher today with the additions of, KD added into the West, Kyrie added onto the Mavs, Warriors made a few good moves around the edges. So it's going to be interesting because the West did get tougher today. So Lakers are going to have to continue to fight just a bit harder. But hopefully we have the talent to do so. I'm real interested to see these players get out there and play. I'm really interested to see if D'Lo can maybe have somewhat of a redemption, career, at least a Laker career. We've seen former Lakers come back and in their second stint be way better than their first. And, we got D'Lo when he was really, really young, really immature. He's had some time to not only gain some experience around the league. He also caught an all-star nod along the way. He's really became the three-point shooter we'd hope he would be. Now, can Darvin Ham get him to play some defense? Can Darvin Ham get him to use some of that length? Because he's a big guard. He's a big point guard. So, Lakers getting a lot bigger, which is great news to hear, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very, very excited. I am very, very excited for what this team has to offer, and we're going to find out what exactly that is. We won't see them. I'm recording this obviously before the Bucks game. We won't see them then. Maybe we see them for our next game. And I know this next streak of games, we got a few of these play-in teams, these 6 through 10, the 5 through 11, the 5 through 12 at this point because we're 13th. Ranked teams that we gotta start sniping some wins. We gotta beat the Wolves. We gotta beat the Warriors. We gotta beat the Mavs. We gotta try to do something that we've struggled to do all year, and that's put together a string of wins. And I'm rooting for us, man, as always. But what it is gonna take at the end of the day, as it always is, and even with the addition of KD and the Suns, I look at that, I'm like, wow, KD and Booker is a good combination. Do you take that over LeBron James and Anthony Davis? The AD that earlier in the season was an absolute monster. And the LeBron James that just beat the scoring record. Shout out to the king, the GOAT, the all-time scoring lead, LeBron James, for doing his business. Honestly, that felt awesome to watch. And what didn't feel awesome to watch is us lose that same game. It really does rely on LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and not so much LeBron James because he's been doing it. More so that second name I named. If AD can be who AD should be, I'd still take that duo over pretty much any duo in the league. I'd take that over KD and Booker. I might be off on that. You can maybe say they're interchangeable, maybe say they cancel each other out. And then it comes down to CP3, who's an old bastard. And DeAndre Ayton, who the Suns didn't even want him 8 months ago. They didn't want him for some time, and he didn't want to be there. So I still think Lakers are pretty damn credible. Let's just actually make the talent work. Let's work hard. We've been working pretty hard this season, but let's work hard in the damn fourth quarter with a few minutes to go and close out these goddamn games and let the stars be stars. Which also means staggering LeBron James and Anthony Davis, Darvin. Please stagger them, because you were doing a whole bunch of letting Russ cook with lineups, and that was where we fell, because LeBron James and Anthony Davis weren't in the game. So it's up to Darvin. It's up to AD. LeBron just got to keep being LeBron. And let's see if these players can really provide what I think they can provide for us. Anthony Davis, I'm going to be real with you, man. For that LeBron James, that celebration game, for him breaking the record, you were a sassy MFer, man. I don't know, obviously Russell Westbrook was a bit of a disruption. He made a scene at halftime. I don't know if you were just frustrated, you're tired, you're hurt, you're disappointed. You weren't on the court during the shot. There could be a levy of reasons, but that's not an excuse for you to, one, be a sassy MFer like you were, especially when you're part of the reason why we're losing at the time, and another part of the reason because you haven't stood healthy. But if you're just disappointed within yourself, I get that. But not only that, come in the actual game, man, and you got 13 points. And as good as LeBron James was against OKC for those first 3 quarters, he beat the scoring record, and then he was like, all right, well, I did my job, I'm out, and then disappeared in the fourth. And then the person that actually kept us afloat was Russ. That was like literally the last troll. OKC beating us, Russell Westbrook being the only player that wanted to play in the fourth quarter after he probably ruined the whole team's morale. How you gonna ruin LeBron James' day? I digress. But man, Anthony Davis, I just hope that you come out of this trade deadline with some positive energy. I hope you heal up as best as you can. You do have the All-Star break because, injuries kept you away from making the team, and that's going to be a much-needed break for you. I think he said he's going on a vacation. I hope he brings a Lakers trainer on vacation as well to just make sure that his knees are okay, his legs are okay, his ankles are okay, his eyes are okay, his everything, AD. I can't afford to get you hurt. Please do not ride any roller coasters. If you're going to the Bahamas, please stay away from everything. I don't know, man. Just dress appropriately, wear a bubble. I need you to stay healthy. I need you to stay healthy the rest of the year. And if we can keep a healthy LeBron James, keep a healthy AD with this surrounding roster, there's no reason, there's no excuses why we can't do some noise and make some noise. And whether that happens or not, you know who it's up to, man. At this point, we have no excuses. Rob, a little too late. A little too late, Rob. I'm going to be real with you. But thank you for doing your job. Better late than never, but never late is better. To quote the great Drizzy Drake. So where are we at now? You guys know we're around the standings. We're a measly 13th, but we're still competitive. We can still get in that playing spot. We can still maybe somehow squeeze in there and get the 6th spot where we can avoid the play-in. Nothing is impossible. I don't think we get a dub today against the Bucks, but we're going to try our hardest to. I hope. I hope this frees up some more opportunity for Austin Reeves. I hope maybe this means that, Lonnie Walker can find another way back into the rotation more solidly, especially since we're going to keep him. Please use him. He was a good scoring punch that we had earlier in the season, and we kind of just went away from that. I'm excited to see if we get anything out of Mo Bamba. Anything more than Damian Jones provided. If he's actually playable, that might add a different aspect to this roster that I just wasn't expecting. So, guys, what are your thoughts? Man, I mean, what a last few days for Lakers. The roller coaster of the LeBron James, breaking that record, but also us losing the game. The fact that this Russell roller coaster is finally done. Man, guys, I think I'll talk about it one day with my man Denz. But Russell Westbrook has put me through hell in purgatory for the last year and a half. And the fact that I don't have to go to sleep watching that product of basketball anymore and then wake up being angry about the product I went to sleep on, it's just a big weight off my shoulders. It really is. I'm so thankful. I am so grateful. I'm really like Russell Westbrook. Steve Nash was like my most hated Laker for some time now, just because that Kobe, Dwight team and Nash left some scars in my brain, and those wounds opened up with Russell Westbrook. And Russ, I really do believe you are my number one most hated Laker experience ever. And I wish you the absolute best. I hope you go to the Clippers, and I hope you proceed to help them out in your fashion that best suits you. And we don't got to worry about them then. But man, bye Russ. Thank you for all your services. It was a very interesting experience that I'm glad is over. TB, glad you came back to us. Glad we were able to hopefully rebuild your value. And I got some nasty feelings that you're going to be nice on Denver. I don't know why the hell they had DeAndre Jordan getting minutes anyway. So I'm very happy for you. I hope you get to get some more opportunity within that role. And playing behind Joker, that's a really big team. So shout out to Thomas Bryant. We're gonna miss you. Juan Toscano-Anderson, you didn't really have many moments, but you're Hispanic, and I respect the fact that you were repping that purple and gold. So shout out to you, Damian Jones. No comment, man. Let's never put a DJ in a Lakers jersey ever again. And then Patrick Beverley. We had some ups, we had some downs, but ultimately you were a interesting experience, and you provided some entertaining memes and moments and a few good plays that I remember. If it wasn't for that damn collapse at the end of the game, and I believe that was the no call, the Celtics game where Bev had to put back. He almost led us to a victory. And that maybe if we would have won that game, you would have never got traded, because maybe the aspect on you would have been a little bit different. But Bev was a very interesting experience having him. I wish him nothing but the best. I like players like him, and I just think ultimately he just didn't fit with what we needed, because we needed a 3-and-D wing, and Rob Pelinka at the time thought that was going to be Patrick Beverley, and Darvin Ham agreed and played him as such. So, guys, a lot happening within the Laker world. Ultimately, I think Rob Pelinka did a damn good job. That Rush trade is an A if I ever seen it. And then, some of those other moves after the fact, they're feelers. I'm not, I'm upset about Thomas Bryant leaving, and question mark about Mo Bamba. I'm a hold judgment on those two trades, but I think if anything, we freed up some spots in our rotation, which was needed, and I'm not too mad about it. And plus, we recouped on some picks, some second rounders, which we can now flip, in the future for maybe something else. But guys, what a trade deadline this was. What a Laker experience this was, being within the trade deadline. I mean, man, it was a very fun week. Very fun few days, I should say. And hopefully that can translate to some fun on the court. LeBron James, shout out to you. You are officially king. Yeah, you're number one. And AD, man, please. I love you. I do. I love you, and as long as you're healthy, you are one of my favorite players to watch. Pick the morale up. I want you to be the reason we're winning. I want you to be the reason why we hopefully have another championship in our future. Ultimately, I think that solely comes down to your health, so stay healthy, but also be you, because you could really be a goddamn 30-15-4 monster every day, and don't forget that. Just don't, please. But without Russell Westbrook holding us back, guess what? The scapegoat is gone. He's gone. There's no other excuses. My next scapegoat might be Darvin Ham if he keeps it up with these goddamn lineups. But let's see what he does now that he has some actual taller players in the mix and not just a bunch of 6'1", 6'2" guys to work with. But guys, let me know what you thought. Let me know your feelings on what just happened. It's a very exciting time, and I'm excited to watch some Lakers basketball, which I can't say I have been for some time. So let's see how it goes, and I'll be here to talk about it next time. Guys, thank you for watching. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hey, if I don't see you, hope you have a good day, good evening, and good night.
Yeah, I got the game all in my hand, ooh, and yeah, pop out with the drip and make a fan drool. You could risk it if you want, this ain't no FanDuel. Yeah, I'm in a Benz cool, yeah, stepping for the breeze.